I talk a lot about the Nexus 6P, especially all its strong points. There is one thing though that I truly hate about this phone. Let's talk about OIS. OIS, or optical image stabilization, is camera technology that pretty much minimizes the blur in your pictures. That blur that you sometimes see in pictures is usually associated with the shakiness of your hand. Or that shakiness gives you that whole jerky effect when you're watching video. But even with a shaky hand, OIS can help you take a decent picture. Or at nighttime, it's even more helpful because you need a much more steadier hand. And when it comes to video, OIS gives you a smoother effect. You know, so the video isn't bobbing up and down when you're walking around or moving your camera from place to place. Now, the Nexus 6P does not have OIS, and while this is my favorite phone to date, this is my biggest gripe with the phone. Well, it's either the lack of OIS or some horrible software that Google has yet to fix. Let me explain. Example number 1, a walk in the park. My Moto X Pure does not have OIS either, but why is the video so much smoother than the 6P? What did Google or Huawei do wrong here? Example number 2, a run in the park. To me, the 6P has better video quality than the iPhone 6. Granted, you know, the iPhone 6 is a year old, but the iPhone 6 handles the video a lot better when it comes to movement. The funny thing is, the iPhone 6 also doesn't have OIS. Example number 3, a ride on the swing. Now, I shot this video the same way I did my 2 previous videos, but for some reason, both phones ended up in portrait mode, my Nexus 6P and my Moto X Pure. So I kind of had to flip everything around and the video ended up really small, but that's besides the point. Just watch. Again, no OIS on any of these phones, but the 6P performs poorly in all of these situations. My question is, can this be fixed with a simple software update? Or does Google, Huawei not even care? You know, when Google released the Nexus 5X and the Nexus 6P, they said it didn't need OIS. They said the sensor was so large that it was still going to be capable of taking great pictures and great video. And the thing is, the phone takes great pictures and it has great video quality. It's by far the best camera phone I've ever used, but you're kidding yourselves if you want us to believe that the 6P doesn't have issues with smooth playback. For those of you that don't use video often, it's probably not the biggest deal in the world, but for someone like me who uses video now more than ever, it's really disappointing. Still my favorite phone, still does a ton of things great, but the choppiness in the video is the Nexus 6P's Achilles heel. And whenever I find myself wanting to shoot video with a camera phone, I end up choosing the Moto X Pure instead. I wonder how much more it would have cost Google to use a sensor with OIS. Or why not just try to figure out how to get more stabilized video without OIS, like the Moto X Pure, or look at the iPhone 6? Or I wonder if there's a different camera app I can use to fix this. I don't typically use any other camera apps except the stock ones, but if there are any that you guys can recommend, please let me know and I'll give it a shot and see if it fares any better.